Okay, I also wanted to go over you guys' notes and just kind of give you what the answers should be. And then I'll hand back your notes in class. I kind of glanced at some of them. Some of them you guys did a good job with, and some of you are missing stuff. What phrases are used to what phrases used to express an opinion are followed by an infinitive? Okay, so what I wanted you to put here is this. Okay, was this. If you go down here, actually, let me turn the page. If you're on page 163, right here, es importantísimo, es fundamental, es urgente, es necesario. Whenever you use these, when you say it's very important to build, it's fundamental to build, whenever you use these expressions, you're going to need to use the infinitive or the unconjugated form of a verb. And if you use lo más and these expressions, you're gonna probably have, if what you're saying is a verb, then what you're gonna have is you're gonna have ser conjugated, and then you're gonna leave the verb in its infinitive form. So lo más grave es solucionar el problema de la escuela. So these are the phrases that you should have had next to what phrases used to express an opinion are followed by the infinitive. Es importantísimo, es fundamental, es urgente, es necesario. There are other ways to express an opinion. It's just these take the infinitive. Next, I said what three verbs are used to express an opinion? These right here are the three verbs. Like I said, there are multiple ways to express an opinion, but when you can use the verb forms would be I think that, I believe that, it seems to me that. So it would be pensar, creer, and parecer. And what verb is used to tell that you would like to do something? That verb would be gustar, but in the conditional form, you would use. Oops, I've got like no space for it. Hold on. You would use me gustaría. Okay, so the first part of your note should be what phrases are used to express an opinion. What phrases used to express an opinion are followed by the infinitive. Es importantísimo, es fundamental, es urgente, es necesario. The three verbs used to express opinions are pensar, creer, and parecer. And the verb that you can use to say that you would like to do something is gustar in the conditional form, which is me gustaría. Okay. Next, I asked you guys to tell me, how do you say it's raining or it's snowing? Do we have to use hace with these two weather expressions? If I go here, here's your weather. To say it's raining, you say llueve. To say it's snowing, you say nieva. And you do not put hacer in front of them. You use hacer with these expressions, with frío, to say it makes cold, it makes heat, it makes sun, it makes wind, it makes bad weather, good weather. Those are these expressions go with hacer. Nevar and llevar or llover do not. Okay, so for here you should have llueve. Oops. Okay, to say that it's raining or snowing, you should use llueve for it snows, and nieva for I'm sorry, llueve for it rains. Oops, let me see if I can make that bigger. And nieva for it snows. So llueve and nieva, and you can put a no in front of it to say it doesn't snow, it doesn't rain. And the answer for should you use hacer with them, do not use hace with these weather expressions. Okay, so do not use hace with these two weather expressions. Okay, so you were also asked what phrases can you use to compare things that are different? And so to compare things that are different, we've written this many times in class. You should have, depending on what you're comparing, you would have más or menos plus adjective, adverb, or noun plus K. Okay? Or if it's a verb, you would have verb plus más or menos plus K. Okay? And the for your regular comparatives, these are your your regular comparatives that when you end up with a situation where you're trying to say better, which would be more good or more well, you can replace more good or more well with mejor. You can replace more bad or more badly with worse, and you can replace more bigger with or more older with mayor, and more smaller or more younger with menor, or de menos edad, de más edad, de menos edad. So you can use mejor, peor, mayor, and menor in substitution of these regular comparisons of inequality. Okay. I also asked you guys to look at what is the superlative and how is it formed. With what does the article used in the formation of the superlative agree? If you go back out here, the superlative, we use the superlative when we want to stress the superiority of something or someone against all others. And our article is going to agree with the category. So here, Lima es la ciudad más grande de Peru. We are comparing size, but it's Lima is the biggest city. It's what it is the biggest is the city. So we're going to make our the agree with city. The category in which we're using to describe it. And so that should be your answer for that one. How do we compare things that are like? This we've gone over in class as well, that you would use ton plus adjective or adverb plus como. Or if we wanted to compare adjectives and adverbs, we can do igual. We can do igual de plus adjective plus K. So we could do either or when we're talking about adjectives. If we're comparing nouns, tanto, tanta, tantos, tantas, plus noun plus como. Okay? Or we could also do el, la, los, las, plus mismo, misma, mismos, mismas, plus the noun. Okay. And if we compare verbs, we can do verb plus tanto como. Okay. And so that's how we would compare things that are the same. We want to say that they're equal. Okay, and lastly, you guys were asked to figure out when to use the relative pronoun. And this I thought was confusing, so I actually made you guys another video on this. But essentially, what you want to do is you're going to use K when the relative pronoun you want to use is that, like when you're trying to say that. That's not going to work. Whoops. You use K when you are using the relative pronoun that, and there is no and the prepositions in, por, para, or sin are not written before. I don't know if there's any way. Let me just. Are not written before, or are not. Well, I don't know how. Or do not come before, are not written before the that you are trying to use. So like you wouldn't have NK, you wouldn't have para que, you wouldn't have por que, you wouldn't have sin que, because most of these mean something other than what you're trying to say. So whenever you're never gonna have this, okay? When that situation arises, when you have one of these, prepositions like en, para, por, or sin, that's when you're going to want to put the article in. That is when you will say en el que, or para la que, or sin el que. Okay, so that whenever you end up with a preposition in front of your that, you're going to have to use an article. You're also going to have to use an article. You also have, actually this would go with this part. Okay. You also have to use the article when you are trying to say in which. And I just went ahead and typed this out. So you have to use the article when you are trying to say in which. This is done to avoid confusion between the subject of the verb and the antecedent. This is when they are not the same. So sometimes the subject of your verb and your antecedent are the same. Sometimes they're not. And if you used K in these sentences, it would make the antecedent seem as if it were the subject of the verb, which is not what you would be trying to say when you're using in which. And if this is confusing, I just uploaded a video that explains relative pronouns better that you all should watch.